So with all this talk about the Strait of Hormuz that I imagine many of us either never heard about, never knew about, never thought about, we need to understand how important this passage is to all of us right now. The latest reporting shows traffic through the Strait of Hormuz dropped 97% as attacks and threats made one of the world's most important shipping routes too risky for many vessels. Dozens of ships are now delayed or rerouted. Crews are stuck waiting for safe passage. Insurers and shipping companies, they now have to pull back. Now, here's the thing. Analysts say that Iran doesn't even need to formally close or block the strait to create major disruption. Just showing that it can target ships, that may be enough. Now, for all of you out there who say, wait, why is this important? That's so far away. How does it affect me? I don't care about oil or gas prices. I don't really drive. Here's the reality. It is so much more than that. Because what moves through that narrow stretch of water doesn't just power our cars, it powers the global economy, which means it is time for Explain It to Me Like I'm a 6-year-old, the Strait of Hormuz edition. Okay, I'm gonna be serious about this though. Imagine there's one narrow road, and almost everything the world needs has to drive through it. That's the Strait of Hormuz, basically. About 1/5 of the world's oil passes through this small stretch of water every single day, along with ships carrying furniture, electronics, clothing, all these different kinds of consumer goods. And if that route gets blocked or even is just too dangerous to use, everything backs up. And we're already seeing that happen. Yes, that means higher gas prices, but it doesn't stop there. Oil is also used to transport almost everything. We're talking food, packages, planes, trucks. So when oil prices go up, the cost of shipping goes up, and then the price of what you buy goes up. There's also the fertilizer problem. Oh yeah, about 1/3 of the world's nitrogen fertilizer passes through that strait. If it can't get through, it means farming gets more expensive, which raises food prices even more. Oh, how about helium? Helium? What do you mean helium? Much of the world's helium supply passes through that strait. Now, this is much bigger than, birthday party balloons. Helium is also a critical part of manufacturing, cooling MRI machines, microchips. So even if your mortgage could be affected by this, because generally speaking, when prices spike, inflation goes up. When inflation rises, interest rates often follow. That makes borrowing more expensive, including home loans, credit cards, car payments. But it's not just about the money. If the strait gets disrupted, it can escalate global tensions, draw in more countries, increase the risk of a wider conflict. It can strain relationships between allies. What we just talked about? President Trump is having difficulty getting other countries on his side. It can force governments into tough decisions, impact military presence around the world. And back here at home, that kind of instability can lead to uncertainty, anxiety, and real concerns about what comes next. And you know who knows that? Iran knows that. This is arguably their biggest weapon. So even if you don't care about gas prices, what is happening over there still affects you. And the longer the strait is disrupted, the more those costs and consequences build and spread. That is why the Strait of Hormuz isn't just a regional issue. It is a global one with real consequences right here at home.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.